name. I'm a teacher. So so yeah, and you realize I'm a fool. So, Eileen, what got you started in sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
What got me into it, honestly, was my father since I was younger. He was the weightlifter in the family, loved the bodybuilding and enjoyed everything about it. And so I've watched him grow. And so when I turned 18, I took a weightlifting class and fell in love with it, got the instruction and fell in love with it ever since. So I dabbled in that and other sports. But I really got into heavy lifting with strongman. And that was around 2012, 2013. And then I did a strongman meet where was able to win the class and I had a good time. But unfortunately, I got injured right after, like maybe another meet. And so I did like the bodybuilding stuff for a couple of years, but never really got to compete fully and get into the circuit until 2022 with who I met with Flow Leader Riley. She's in Pembroke Pines. And so she met with me, we got together and I decided to take it seriously from there because I just wanted something to really challenge myself and get myself back in check to what I used to love doing.
Yeah, I think everybody has their background, athletic. Know some ladies who got it because of some medical issues. One lady I talk about because she was dealing with obesity before she got into
Mhm.
bodybuilding. It's just a sport that I think draws people into it because of the development of the body as you grow. And like you said, your father got to. A girl's best friend's her daddy. That's the first true
Mhm.
man you love. And it
Yeah.
was for me. What got me into bodybuilding was my older brother. He used to be also lift weights. So I used to lift weights with him and the muscle mags and stuff. Like I got to meet Kevin Levrone, who was there at Tampa,
Oh.
and that I remember him when I was looking through the magazines.
Mhm.
I told him, sir, Mr. Levrone, sir, you could have been Mr. Olympia at least a couple of times. Career. He should be saying he agreed with me, and it was a great opportunity to meet him and so several other competitors. Even I saw Derek Lungford. He's there. I realized that dude was that
Yeah.
short. He's he's
Yeah.
he's like he's like I'm like you used to be Mr. Olympia. But
Oh, all of us are little. I mean, I met another women's physique competitor. She just recently moved down here. And so she was just mentioning, like, we're all short in stature. She's like, I'm 5 feet. How tall are you? And I'm like, I'm 5'3". So, we may come off like super big, which I'm very proud of, like we're big and strong, even though we may seem like tiny, but like I'm proud of my tightness. So I don't care.
Well, a lady I interviewed yesterday, her name is Alex Blankenship. She's 4'8". Yeah,
Hmm.
she's really tiny. She's a
We're
cute
all
little thing. She's like a little cute little bunny rabbit. I want to stroke her and hold her. But yeah, I think usually I think the shorter, more compact women can put on muscle better compared to taller women. I got a friend. Her name is Tina Williams, and Tina, she's like 5'9", about 5'10". You look at Michaela Aycock, she's barely
yeah.
5 feet tall,
Hmm.
and her muscles just crazy. As we know,
Yeah.
she decided to take a step back from bodybuilding. I think she may not be competing anymore,
Hmm.
or sometimes take some time off, maybe just recover. So
Yeah. Yeah. She's an amazing person. I got to meet her in person the year before when I made my pro debut. So I felt like she was like a good luck charm, super humble, sweet. I love her mom as well. I chased down her mom too. Um, but it's just nice to meet other competitors like Michaela, who, we all share the same passion, the same discipline, the love for the sport, but also the love for the growth, the personal development. So I feel like what I do is not only just something personal, but it's a testament to others that, we all walk different paths of life, but we all can share that same love of bodybuilding and just learning to grow from it and how we can just become better human beings every single day. So she's another prime example. Sydney Gillen also, who I hope to meet or, run into one day. She seems like an amazing person as well. And so I strive to want to be that person as well, even for the youth who's always watching me 24/7.
yeah, because you're a teacher, you're dealing with kids, and now
Mhm.
summer vacation. I know, certain states they already start back at school, and I think Florida. I think y'all supposed to start back this week, or
Tomorrow.
is it tomorrow? Oh yeah,
Tomorrow.
so yeah, tomorrow. I don't envy you. I mean, teachers, y'all go through a lot, and you take care, you watch our children, and you sometimes see the bit of more of the worst and the best of them. So, what got you into
Yeah.
teaching?
Oh, I was originally a nursing major. I wanted to jump into the medical field, but ever since I was like 14, I've always worked with kids, babysat, nannied, and worked summer camps. And it was something that came natural. And so, around 2010, I went on a missions trip to Brazil, spent some time there, and came back and realized maybe nursing wasn't for me because I ran into so many blocks for the nursing program. So, prayed about it and then just ended up going to the education field and seeing what that would bring, and doors flew open from there. So, I just always felt like it was something that came natural. So I felt like, well, use this gift, fan the flame of that gift, and pursue it. So been teaching now for about 10 years. So now it's pursuing leadership and trying to see what else I can do and to grow in that field. But the kids always need us. And when you can reach, those certain ones that need that assistance, and when you see that light bulb click for those students that, may have a hard time getting content or anything like that, it makes everything worthwhile. So for me, having great mentors throughout the whole entire time, from professors to teaching mentors, like all of them have helped me to grow my love for everything. So, and I love learning new things. Like you never stop being a student, for those that love growth, whether it's learning it in the education field. I always love to learn with cooking too. That's something, it's always a love that I've had. So even though I love food in general, I actually love the science of cooking. So learning and growing every day. And that's what I try to pursue and try to, give those kids as an example also.
Yeah, I think one thing you mentioned food earlier. That is the important part about being a bodybuilder, because most people, when they think about bodybuilders, I say this quite often, because I just take some steroids and just get big and I like a lot. No, food is part of it. Nutrition is the most important part of it. It's the most difficult part because you're eating things that while I was at the I was sitting in the booth with my friend JoJo. She's one of the ladies that ran Bad Rap. Shout out to Bad Rap. I was there to help my friend.
Yeah,
Eunice.
they had an item.
Yeah, she's a great lady, Eunice. I mean, she says, "Wear the hat." I'll put it on every now.
There you go.
I'm not a hat guy every day.
I usually love my hats. It looks nice though.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out to Eunice, and also what I know is that food is very important about the process of bodybuilder. I remember when I was talking with JoJo. She gave me these healthy cookies, and I was eating it, and then. Or I said, like, am I eating clay dirt or am I eating because
it's intense, some items.
Yeah, it's a particular interesting taste. I kept drinking water so I can get it down. That's the thing is, because that's a part of the process. As you mentioned earlier, Coach, share her name again. How long have you been
together? Lolita Riley, yeah. Mm-hmm. She's down in Pembroke Pines, down south from me. She's been in the game 30 plus years, and we have a huge team at Tampa Pro. If you didn't see on MPC Day, I think we had almost over 15 athletes compete, which we're all very proud of each other and super supportive of one another. But I came to her in 22 because my body was it went into complete shock. I was doing intermittent fasting and my body just wasn't responding how it was supposed to. And so I was like, I need to do something. It was starting to affect me mentally and just feeling emotional about it. And so I've always loved going to bodybuilding shows. So every time I've gone, I would always hear the team award going to her. And I'm like, who is this woman? But I followed her for over the previous years, but I never, asked for her, never sat down with her just because I always felt I wasn't ready. And I always told myself that if I'm going to go for something like this, I definitely want to make sure everything's good to go. Like all my ducks are in a row so that I'm mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared for the experience. Cause I knew what I was going to get into. Mm-hmm. And so, when I married my husband, he had told me in 22, he was like, why don't you try bodybuilding? And I kind of left it in the past, due to just previous things that's happened in my life. And I just was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I didn't want to pursue it. And so my husband now had told me, he's like, just try it one more time and see, what comes of it. And so when I called for Lolita, I called her and asked to meet with her and sat down with her. And the first thing she said to me, she's like, so what show do you want to do? And I said, I don't want to do a show yet. I said, you're going to tell me when I'm ready for a show. And she's like, okay. And I said, but I do know how to train. I do know how to, like push myself. I said, just give me 3 months with a plan and all that good stuff. And so we set a plan and we were moving it forward. And then come July of that year, I sat down, we made great progress, and she looks at me, and the first thing she pulls out is the packet, which was the packet of the shows that were for NPC. And that put a big smile on my face because, that let me know that I was ready. And then that's when we decided to pursue First Call Out, which was a great show. And we did both figure and physique. Then that was the only time because we wanted to see where I fit in. Whether it was the physique category or the figure category. And even though I swept that show, both categories in that show, which was a huge blessing. I mean, it was really neat for the experience and being able to win both categories and all the classes. It was very nice. So that just set the trail blazing for me to continue. And we did nationals and then we took a break. So that way I can just build in the off season. And then ever since we've just been learning and growing together and just enjoying the ride. So it's been awesome working with her.
Yeah, that's about bodybuilding. It's a process where you have to learn and adapt and grow. You did figure for a bit, and then it didn't work out because you felt
Mhm.
like it wasn't the division for you. Where I'm seeing some women who are in a division, like if you look at women physique right now and women division like figure, where they're kind of outgrowing the division. They need to. It'd be better for them in the long run to move up, but they always use that excuse says, "I don't want to move up because as long as I'm placed in the top five, I'm good." But you could win a
Mhm.
show or you can place. I'm seeing some ladies who've done that switch. One lady who I've had a guest on, who was also from your neck of Florida, is Sherry Piami. She was women's
Yeah.
physique for a good while, and she switched over to women's bodybuilding. Same thing with Michaela. I
Mhm.
think it's about where you go and your body grows as an athlete, and also,
Mhm.
that feeling on stage. That first time, you got to think about it. You're partially butt naked. You got this crazy suit on. You got people looking at you, judging you. Say, "Who is this?"
Mhm.
What was that feeling for yourself that first time?
Um, for the first time when in the first call out, when I came out, I mean, I pushed my body hard from doing everything possible to making sure that I was conditioned to the T. And I remember when I got out on stage and figure because just worried about the steps with the heels because I was just like a deer, I felt. And I'm walking out and I just remember standing up and I looked at Tim Gardner, who was judging, and I remember him flipping his pen and just saying, like, what is she here for? Kind of thing. Like, she won the category. And he said on the microphone, I don't think this is your first time ever doing it. And I'm like, this is why you practice. This is why you prepare, even if it's not a year from now or 5 years from now, or in my case, 10 years from now, because I've always wanted to compete pretty much around Sydney Gillen's age when she started. That's when I was getting into it. But life, and everything happens. And so to be able to do it, years from then and to be here now to continue to complete that goal and that dream. I mean, I never thought I would get this far and here I am. And so it's definitely possible. And as people make it as cheesy as it sounds, like dreams do come true, if you continue to pursue it and push hard, and regardless of what life brings at you, you try to find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, that's like the old song. Fairy tales come true when you're young at heart, because it can happen. Because if you're determined enough, and you are, one thing about bodybuilding, you have to have focus, determination, discipline, and consistency. It's not as easy as everybody think of it. You just go to the gym and just pump these weights. You have to have a plan.
Mhm.
Sometimes, as my other guy says, I don't have a plan, Eileen. I'm just a dog chasing cars. I don't know what to do when I get one. And that's it's just about where you fit. Like, I know some ladies who love the high heels of figure and or bikini
Mhm.
or wellness. Others don't. They be happy to get those clop hoppers off. And I know ladies say, "I'm glad with my bare feet." Someone told me one time she had to take a air dryer, try to loosen the straps because her feet swell. We have
Those
here
shoes
is
hurt.
Kanchin Bag, if it's this name again, it's Kanchin. It says, hi, brother. And you mentioned someone, Cindy Gillen, who is the former Miss Olympia figure champion. As you know, there's a grab for the title. Just saw that Missy Trescott won her won the figure division
Yes,
at
he
the
did.
Tupelo just Friday, and then you also just confirmed that Jessica Reyes Padilla is now again two-time Masters Olympian champion,
Yeah.
and I feel person I really like is Lola Montez. I think her physique is great. She has a great look to her. I would like to see her as champion. Either one, I think if I had to choose between, I would say Lola or someone else. Like I saw Rhea Gale, she just won her title at Texas. Like you talk about, is that one of your people that you really admire in the sport? Like Cindy Gilliam, is anybody else too?
Jessica Reyes is another person that, she's a Boricua like I am. So it's like, yeah, like I'm, proud of her here.
You're Puerto Rican. Mommy. I love y'all Puerto Rican women. Y'all psych me. Mommy.
She's a great person that Michaela is another person. I mean, I meet people along the way. That I just find Linda Murray, like they're just beautiful women through and through. Brooke Walker, like all of them are just great people. And as I continue to just go along this journey, meeting new competitors, fellow competitors like April Casamano, like I never got to meet her and got to meet her at Tampa Pro. She's cool peoples. And I'm very excited for her and her journey. And many others that I've just met, even another one today, like just in the gym, like everybody inspires me when I hear their story and where they're coming from. And it's always nice to meet other individuals and we share our battles and what, the future of bodybuilding looks like. And so we have those great conversations and we get inspired by each other regardless. So from big names to names that haven't been, discovered yet, everybody continues to motivate me because this is something that is a huge community for us, even though we may seem like a small percentage in the world. So it's really neat.
I think bodybuilding is growing because we just had the Masters Olympia in Japan. There's several shows overseas. I was talking with Brianna Terry, who was there because she's friend of Hunter Henderson. She was competing for the Tampa title, and she was telling me they're going to be a show in Mexico. Right, I think a little bit right after the Olympia, and also there's going to be a show also in Vegas. Where it's going to have women's bodybuilding, which is one of the few opportunities for women bodybuilding to have a show other than the Rising Phoenix.
Rising Phoenix, that's a big Phoenix,
one. Yeah, it's no longer. It used to be the women's bodybuilding championship, but now Jake, who runs the Olympia, it's because it's more to open shows. Like it used to be just the Arizona Pro, which all the other divisions, the Rising Phoenix was women's bodybuilding. And I always want to shout this man out because he's the guy who came in when women's bodybuilding was on its ropes. He saved it. That Mr. Jake Wood. I gotta say to him, yo, Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. That is him with the lovely the lovely iPhone Melody Specco. And one person who I'm also a big fan of in the sport, and I call her, she's my girlfriend, and that is Andrea Shaw.
Oh, she's lovely, yeah. That's
She's
another.
So beautiful.
I got to meet her at Olympia when it was in Orlando at the time. And she's super sweet. What's that?
That was in 2023, right? That was the last time they had
Yeah, it was that was like my first Olympia, so it was really cool. A friend she convinced me. She's like, let's just drive, let's just go up, and I'm like, okay, I'll go. And so we spent the day there and got to see the expo and got to see the women compete, and it was really neat experience. So but hopefully next Olympia I'll be in it. That's the goal.
Yeah, I know a friend of mine, my friend Eunice, I keep advertising Bad Rap, big and defined, ripped and pumped. Yeah, for y'all ladies. She was there that year too, and she went into Andrea. And as my other half says, if you get us something, never do it for free. And sometimes I enjoy what I call is a payment because she sent it to me for my birthday. It was my 49th birthday that year, and she sent it to me as a gift.
Oh, nice. That was her cover, yeah.
Yeah, this is muscle development. I have some of them in a case with some comic books. Just collected.
I have some that are saved too from Oxygen magazine when they used to be out, and Muscle Hers, and they were all great magazines.
Iron Man.
Yeah,
I think Muscle Development stopped producing these, but what makes this one so special, not just because Andrea's on the cover. And I know, guys, you hate me when I do this, but you know what? I don't give a damn. I'm good at that. She signed it for me. Signed it. You can say, I've got yesterday say, you decided for hell no, you just told me because we talked on the phone just after, they're talking, you signed my, no, I didn't, because she's generally, when I talk to ladies who have known her and met her, she's generally a great person. She's a great ambassador for her division. And I think she has a great look to her, great personality. I did this when I got to see Ashley Jones there and I saw her, you ever saw the movie Color Purple, where there's a part where Oprah Winfrey is seeing, finally get to see Whoopi Goldberg and Miss Sissy, saying like, I've seen that jail sitting to rot, and I saw you. I knew there was a God. I knew there was a God. I said that. I said to Ashley, if I see Andre, I would say to her, when I saw Eunice, because me and Eunice we always been talking on the phone and get to. I act like that part at the end of it says, "Oh mama, mama." I know I'm a fool. I'm crazy, but people like that, they are amazing women. And when I saw these ladies, and I look how social media treat them, how they tell like, oh, she's trying to be a man, she's not that. And right now, like I say, I have here a beautiful Boricua woman in front of me, folks. And she's a married lady, so I say I'll be respectful for your husband. I won't be too, That thing is, man, I'm a Southern gentleman. I gotta be respectful for a lady. I should ask your permission first before I got into it. But there are so many different women in this world, and everybody has different looks to them. And I would say all you ladies are beautiful. One of my crimes, Eileen, is I am a muscle pear smell. I admit that crime. I think y'all ladies just like when I saw you, I was just so intoxicated. But doing this content, I really get to know what it is, what fuels your interest, especially sport where it's so extreme, so not the norm, especially where some people say it changed the aspects of what is considered feminine.
So, like, as far as what drives me to this sport, it's not normal. That's why, it's different. It's unique. I mean, I've always loved the fact that these women stood out to me and that they just defined discipline and strength. Like, every time a person had asked me, even when I was a personal trainer and everything like that, like, what do you love about doing the weightlifting? I just like being strong as heck. Like, I love being the fact that I can go in a room and be like, I could take you. Like, if I wanted to, like, just playing around. What? But that confidence you feel. And so to me, with the femininity aspect of it, a lot of people, in the dominant world, as far as they see us, they see us as intimidating. And really, we want to display that soft, feminine characteristics constantly. We want to feel that, like, I'm thankful for my husband in the sense, that he helps me to stay that vulnerability and to feel comfortable and all those things, because you spend all day being strong. And you spend, like, even to my students, when they see me in the hallways, they need to see that toughness to hold that strength. But sometimes you want to crumble. And as a female of strength, and we got muscles, and we could, lift crazy weight and all that stuff. But there's parts of us that are feminine. There's nothing that went away, so it's just like, we still are the feminine, the strong, what you want to see. And a lot of people look up to that. Other people find it threatening. But I say, one person that came up to me once and made some comments here and there. And I said, listen, I'm your mirror. If you're looking at me and you're bashing me and you're throwing things at me and all these comments, you're just looking at yourself and what you want to be. And it's okay. I don't like confrontation. There have been comments and people have sent messages in the past. I could be nasty and I could be petty, if you want to call it that, and say nasty things and do what other people do. But I'm not the world. I'm a woman of God. I'm a woman of faith, and those people are hurting. Hurt people. So, and even in the competitive world, my first in Tampa Pro the year before, nobody spoke to each other. And so for me, it was very interesting because I was like, do I move? Do I stay? Do I say hello? Do I not? But this year that I came, the second time around, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be myself. And maybe I came off so tough and I could, be so nervous and things like that. But it's like, I love being girly girls and silly, and we're all tomboys at the same time, like we all share those same characteristics and aspects of life. And so for me, when we see other strong women, it's very comforting. But in the world, sometimes, we have to kind of hold our chin up and try to maintain that strength. But we're just like any other woman, any other female.
Well, like I said, everybody has their ideas of what is considered feminine, and y'all
Yeah.
ladies, many of you're doing a sport that's very, it's said again, it's very out of the norm. And my mindset is that all y'all are beautiful, in my opinion. You may not be the beauty of the standard of what most people look at it, but it is. And here's the thing: I have faith, but I'm more a bit of a sinner than a saint sometimes.
Oh, we all
And
are.
I don't look for trouble. If trouble come my way, I can handle it. I remember one time we were sitting one night, and I used to work at this club, back in the day. It was a
Mhm.
gentleman's club. And one night we were just sitting chilling afterwards, and my boss's girlfriend was talking. He said, "George, you're always nice and quiet." And I told her like this. I say like this: I can be the nicest person when I need to be, or a stone cold son of a bitch when I have to be. That's the flip. I can go if I have to. I can be just the nicest, sweetest kind of, or I can be just as mean as the devil. I know I'm my father's son. I say like this: I have my mother's heart, but I also have my father's fury. We're gonna look a couple of pictures here because this is from her debut, and this is from her. And this is, as you know, it was the second time, the first time her debut, and also the second time this past week when she's on the stage with this year's champion, Sama Binta. Amazing
Mhm.
physique. I mean, her shoulder traps are crazy.
Our traps
Also,
were ridiculous.
yes. Also, Paula Renta is there. She was her second time this year, and also they have also interviewed the lovely Miss Oksana Perari, and also Elaine Alvarez, who is she's from Spain. She's a different level of Spanish.
Yeah,
Beautiful women, all different ways. Jenny Feldman, all I would say different colors of the rainbow. And here's
I love
also the
it. It's
lady.
very diverse. It's beautiful.
Yeah, here's just the
And
lady who
Daphne,
yeah, Daphne. Daphne, I interviewed a long time ago. We've been in contact for a good bit. Get to see, even take a picture with her. We were there. Her
yeah,
husband Keith,
we
her
we
husband.
we come to the same gym together on occasion, so we'll see each other. But I've got to meet Daphne. She was in my first show, and so when I first met her, I fell in love with her physique. And at the time, I believe she was wellness. I'm not, or not. I think so. I'm not 100%. She wasn't
I,
women's physique just yet.
well, I remember she when I first interviewed a while back, she was still doing physique, and then she was a
Yeah,
year or so later. She told me she reached awareness. She did somewhat, but because her arms, she said, because she has
she's
crazy
got a
arms.
great back, upper body. Like
Great.
she's got a killer body. And so when I first met her, I was a nervous wreck, obviously my first show, and all the expediters, they're always great behind the scenes. And I got to help a few times and doing trophies and awards. So to be able to work with her on occasion, and then I've always admired her and always, thought she was just the sweetest thing. And her husband as well, he's a great person, very, very kind, very, very respectful. And so to be able to share the stage with her, I told her, I go, this is an honor. I go, I've always admired you since the beginning. So for me, this was like a huge deal. And even the same on Tampa Pro with Kim, she made top 10 with us. And so, to be able to share the stage with her, because she did masters the night before and won. And then to share these, the stage with these ladies, and to share a gym with them and a gym environment, it's nice to me. And I don't see it as like, I'm going to beat you or anything like that. It's like, that's my sister in iron. Like whoever makes it to the top, like you did it for all of us, and it's each of us have our own journeys and our own paths, but everybody's story is beautiful in all this. And so I love it. I love competing with
Yeah.
these women.
Yeah, I talked to Kim for a good bit, after the show, and she's an amazing young lady. What she's been through in her past, dealing with she had addiction stuff like that,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but I think she might do another show.
Hmm.
I hope her
And I
best of luck
believe
in that.
Daphne is doing Atlanta Pro as well.
Yeah, Atlanta
Hmm.
Pro, as you know, that's the Linda Murray show. I was thinking about going to Atlanta one year, but I have a car that broke down on me. I was saving money to get it fixed. Then I said, forget that club hopper. I'm just gonna save some money. And then I was about a month before a month or so before the Tampa show. My friend Hughes were talking on the phone, and she
Hmm.
was talking. She was trying to get some people to come out there, especially some ladies that she are bodybuilders. And I said, you know what? I got a few bucks on me. I'm not like I'm doing anything. And this was my second show because my first show was Savannah. And I can tell you,
Hmm.
yeah, for me, it was experience. I met some ladies who were there. I was nervous, talked to some ladies. It was cool. But this time, so you know what? I gotta get out of my own way. I gotta be open minded. I gotta go walk around, talk. I saw you. I did interviews with a couple ladies. I got the chance to take pictures and hug Ashley Jones and Sharonka Hitton. You know,
No.
those are both lovely chocolate sisters. I just love them. And just being there and meeting guys like Kevin Lavone, Derek Longford, Daily Roth, and and Tim Gardner, and also Bob Ciccarello. Bobby Chick, I like to call him. He's like a gangster. He's like Bobby Chick, he said, hey Bobby, which Bobby Chick, it was just an experience for me. That's great. And also to meet someone like you and just to know what gets you passionate about it. So folks, what we're going to do is here while we got the Eileen here with us, we're going to jump into her social media for a bit. So if you want to follow her, link in the description of this live stream, support her path. She's taking this off season. We hope we might see her more again next year. As teachers see, the importance of them, their jobs and their career. But guys, I tell you this verbatim, guys, and out of respect to this lady who took time to talk with me, guys, no weird shit. None. Don't send nothing. Eileen, I have heard stories, guys. Like there's an old smoke saying, when you leave rock hard, we're rock hard. But guys, come on, be respectful. Understand, this is a lady. This is somebody's wife, daughter. Be respectful. Reach out in genuine interest. Don't be that weird guy. So, folks, we're going to jump to her social media for a bit here. And you want to follow her? The links are in the description of this live. And here she is. This is from Chicago. Wow, this picture. I think that's Gilco. He does some great.
Yeah,
Is that Gilco?
no, it's actually Jonathan Owens. So he has been I've known him since the beginning. Also, when he started in the whole game of content, and he got with a photographer, and I forgot his name. I apologize, but he got with his mentor, and so from then he's always been sneaky and just behind the scenes and just taking these beautiful shots. And I've worked with him for one session and I can't wait to work with him again. I already messaged him about it. But he does some amazing work himself too, and give him a follow as well. The way he just captures the photos and the angles every single time, even from Tampa Pro during check-in. It was one of my favorite pictures of me with I think it's the old school bodybuilding hat. And that's one of my favorite pictures. But the most recent one that I just posted of me doing my posing routine, he took that shot as well. And so I love every piece that he's done. So I'm very thankful for what he captures.
I would say that picture just brought out your complexion, your skin, your muscle,
everything.
The detail. It's so beautiful about it. This is the reason why I love about female bodybuilders. It's just the beauty of the body, the beauty of the build. Because yes, it's not what you would say like if you go get yourself an issue of Playboy. You might want to see that. It's just a different level. It's a different form of the woman, of the feminine body as you look. And here's this, and this gentleman here. This is your hubby.
Yes, that's my baby.
What's his name and how long y'all two been together?
I'm always horrible with dates, and he's gonna have to forgive me for this. But we got together during the pandemic. We met online. We were both ending we had already ended our marriages, and we were just looking for just companionship and friendship, and then it blew up from there. And so he was very patient with me while I worked on my master's degree. And without him and his support and basically just telling me to try to do it one more time, like I wouldn't have touched the stage ever. So the fact that he continues to support me and this crazy preps and the things that we do, he's just amazing through and through. I'm beyond blessed. Yeah, and that's my girl, Tammy. That was my favorite video. Competing was awesome at Tampa Pro. I love Tampa Pro, but this right here was just a core memory for me. Like my coach just sat down and she's like, all right, she pulls out her camera and she's like, pose down. And Tammy, who also competed at Tampa Pro, she's wellness, as you can see. She
definitely can see.
That was her second. She did her pro debut in Miami, and this was her second round. So she was very happy and pleased with the show, and she made top 10. And so we came in strong as pros, as part of the team. And that was the I Am Activewear with Julene. She was there at the show as one of the vendors. Great story also for her journey and how she came to create this activewear. So it's a pleasure to be a model, to be an ambassador for her, and to represent the brand.
I mean, I'm telling you, Eileen, you are a beautiful woman. I can't
Thank
lie.
you.
You know, your body's
Apparently, I've
amazing.
been wearing cheetahs since I was little.
I
Just the
mean,
proof.
it's just, and your husband, he kind of gives that little bit of like bald John Travolta look to him. And, you
Oh,
ever
he's
seen?
got his smoky,
Yeah,
his
yeah,
smolder look,
yeah, yeah. I mean, and here
and
she is
his
getting the
lovely green
makeup.
eyes.
Yeah, lovely
Yes,
green
this
eyes.
was Amber. Amber has been with me since year one, also, and so she's always made me beautiful. It made me feel glamorous every single time I visit her. So Tampa Pro has always been our tradition every year. So it was very nice to do this second round with her as a pro. So she always knows what to do.
And going back, you earned your pro card. That was at the 2023 North Americans. I know a couple
Mhm.
ladies that earned their pro card there. One lady's a friend of mine, Amanda Shooks. She was there at the venue hanging out. She's planning on competing next year. Uh,
Okay.
Hannah Hussein, who I also had a pleasure interviewing my channel, and also Brittany Parrish, earned their pro
Mhm.
cards at that show. What was that feeling like when they told you that you're now IFB Pro?
I mean, my heart sunk. I just remember just hearing a lot of noise, but I just didn't know what was going on. So, but I just remember being like, yeah, like it happened, like a little sports move at the victory. And to not only just win it once, but win it twice, the two pro cards. So I got to get two. So I felt like that was like hitting the goal and then hitting it twice. It was just beautiful for me. And so, the first thing I did is as soon as I saw my coach, I just started crying. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, and I'm not one to really cry. You can ask anybody. I don't like crying because it's just like when I start, I can't stop. So it took me a minute to gather myself to kind of just absorb everything, but to accomplish a goal and a dream that you never thought was going to happen again through the life's challenges that I've been through, like it's a really beautiful experience. And for those that, and what I always love to say too is like I earned it. It wasn't
Yeah.
given to me. I worked for it. I bust my butt day in and day out. On top of a full-time job, on top of family life and emotions and everything that comes with prep. But it pays to have a supportive family, and anybody that asks me, should I jump into it right now? I mean, look at me. I didn't do it until like 10 years later, or a little bit longer than that. But it takes time. It takes time to build a person as a whole. I had to learn a lot of things. I'm thankful I didn't, there was a lot of pushback in the beginning of when I tried to do this because my mental state going into all this is so different than what I see other people go through. Um, because it's like you want to have some type of purpose going into this for yourself. Like I just feel like, I go in, I compete, this is my alter ego, but it's like I go back to my life of, teaching kids and doing what I love. I get to do two cool things. That's how I see it. And so when I see a lot of people that are not mentally ready for it or just want to jump in, go ahead and try it, give it a shot. But remember, it's going to cost you financially. It's going to cost you socially. It's going to cost you mentally. And you got to fight through all of these battles. And with what I go through every single day, teaching a bunch of different personalities and taking them through the journey of life and trying to share my experiences, it's not easy, and I'm thankful for the accountability that I receive from another friend at my home gym, because I also have my prep coach, but I also have another friend who became not only just a strength coach, but he became a friend, he became a mentor through everything too. And so through his guidance and his help also, and accountability, because coming after teaching, you're drained to death pretty much. And so mentally, can you push 5 more reps or can you push for another set? On your own, some nights are hard, and I'm there till 6, 7, 8 o'clock on some evenings, and then having to go and meal prep and get into that same discipline for the next day, and waking up at 4 a.m. and doing it all over again. But when students see that they have no excuse and that they know that this can be done, it makes it all worthwhile. They're my motivation. So, and
Yeah.
seeing my family just cheer me on. And at the beginning, they didn't know what this world was. And it took my mother, if you know anything about Puerto Rican moms and dads, they're just like, what are you doing? Why are you hopping on stage like this? And until I brought my mother to go see my suit being made, it hit it for her like, oh, this is what you do. Like, this is different. You know, you're not trying to, like you had said, you know, like prance on, you know, in a bikini and doing, I'm like, no, I'm doing work just like bikini competitors and wellness competitors. We're displaying a physique we're proud of. And so, you know, Virginia, who does my suits, she does it for some of our teammates on the team and has been also with Lolita for a very long time. She custom made every piece, and I told her this round, I was like, I want purple. And so I was very, very excited about it. But everything about it is just very special. It's a special journey and even when I tried on my first suit with Virginia, I cried. I treated it like a wedding dress. Like, that's a proud moment when you walk on and you have this display. And that was honestly the first time I put on a bikini. So wearing my first suit was the first time I put a bikini on my body. I was like, oh, this is different. So it was an experience to go through all that too as a woman, you know, for someone who covered up. Because at max, when I was 18, 19 years old, I was a max of 205. So it was a hard start, but I was at my heaviest in that beginning. And then I fluctuated between 185, 190. So it was always like a up and down. And that's when I made that decision to see Lolita to get it going.
Yeah,
That
I
was
can
one of
understand that because I understand. I've been battling, being overweight for a long time. My heaviest was it a few years ago. Um, I was taking care of my mom. I know it's a story is that really the reason why I got into doing this content because I've been a fan of bodybuilding for a long time, especially y'all ladies, And when I got into it, because my mom was sick. She was sick for a long time. I was taking care of her, and then I was just needed something to help with the stress and responsibilities and the weight of it. And I started doing it because a guy I know he's a good friend of mine. His name is Coach Sheridan Harrison. He's a fitness instructor and coaching of athletes. And he told me, do something that you like to do. It's something you like. I said, well, I'm a fan of bodybuilding, especially the women. So I started doing videos and content, and then a few years later, started doing some interviews. It's hard to get some y'all because y'all busy. Y'all got this and that and that. And when she passed, my mom, she died during the pandemic. She was already sick, and then once the virus got her, there was not much, But and then I started really getting more invested in it because I don't really have anything else. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I just got me. Everybody else, I grew up with three brothers. Actually, I got two brothers, but I have another brother. He's the oldest, my father's son, and I have four sisters, but that's my father's son after my mother. And also I grew up with my nieces and nephews. Like, we're pretty much a family, and they have their lives. My youngest nephew just has his ninth child. Yeah. And my sister keeps saying, you know what, you're not too old. I'm going to be 51 in November. I'm done. My best years was 20 years ago. And doing this content about you ladies, it really helped me out. Because one thing was, I was almost at 500 pounds. I was just 20 pounds away from it. Then when I saw a picture of myself sitting at my mom's funeral, at the funeral we was eating, I said, wow, I really, really, I didn't think I was big, but I didn't think I was that big. And right now, I made some decisions, made some changes, and then I'm at 405. I want to do a little more, but I have issues with my knees, and then, I need more discipline. It's not one thing. It's not the most just motivation, but discipline, knowing how much you can do, having control, understanding everything. And sometimes food is the one thing about it because sometimes it's
hard.
just it's hard. We got some comments here. Shout out to my guests. They're waiting in the corners. Shout out here to my man K Elder Wonder. He says, what's going on? Not much, brother. What's going on with you? Also, he says this. He says this says you should like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz, George, in terms of who you saw at the Tampa Bay Pro. Yes, brother. It was exciting for me. I was talking to one person. I said like that. I said like, for me, I felt like, especially meeting some of your ladies, especially the ones that follow social media, does the interviews with. I felt like, remember years ago when Joe Montana was at a football game, was interviewing his female reporter. I felt toxic like Joe. I said, I just want to kiss you. If I like, Eileen, I just want to kiss you. I was intoxicated by you, beauty. But that was for me. It was great for me because it was the second time me going to a show, and I'm
That's
hoping to
great.
maybe go to one in the future.
Mhm.
Also, he says this. He says Eileen is a brick house.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. He's talking about another brick too, but it's not the house. But and also, he says, this shout out to my man. He's a fan. He's a fan. He says, when you
Yeah.
meet your your guy husband, and I need to start with my glasses
It
more.
was actually through my cousin had put me on it because she's like, you need to socialize more. It was a date, not even a dating room, chat rooms. I'm trying to think of it. And it was Kick or something like that. And so he didn't appear much in the room. And it was it was just a random group of people that just shared similar interests. And so he messaged me on the side and I didn't really talk much on there. So I was just kind of like, whatever goes, will go. And so we met up, on his birthday at a like a museum situation that there was like an event going on, like an art festival, and we had lunch and just talked and we just continued it ever since and we just hit it off. But it was just next thing you knew, the following year we were already getting married. So we did it quick. We eloped. So I asked him, I go, do you want a wedding? It's totally up to you. And he goes, nope. I'm like, all right. So we did it in an after school situation. We just went and did it. So, and it was during the
Yeah,
pandemic too. So, but I mean,
yeah.
he's been awesome ever since, like I said, and I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for his support to start pushing me to be like, go give it a shot. So it helps when you have support, and
Uh,
have somebody behind you.
and you said earlier you were married before, and
Yes.
was he supportive about your path as a bodybuilder?
No, it was a very dark time, unfortunately. And just the person's desires, who you think that you've married and who you thought you were going to be with for the rest of your life, ended up being completely a different person. And but there's other things as well. As a female, in a marriage, you can tend to lose yourself and make your life all about the other individual. And unfortunately, that's what I did. And so to the point where I lost sight of who I was. So it was a very dark time, about like 8 years of just up and downs. Unfortunately, substances that he used on his end caused him to be something he shouldn't have been. And so with an abusive marriage and an abusive background, you were afraid. And I was thankful, like I said, family is everything, always, even if you're always mad at your loved ones, or, which, I caused an uproar within the family of all my antics at the time. And so I was very thankful for my family who